right, good afternoon to the Board of Selectmen's meeting for Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. I'll call the meeting to order.
I'd like to make a motion to reorganize the Board of Selectmen for the following year. Carol Julius as chair, Dave Sheedy as vice chair, and Peter Spagone Jr. as the clerk. And before we vote, I would like to thank Peter for a great year of leadership and really stepping up here and learning how slow business really works in town government.
Thank you, David. Appreciate that.
I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's yours, Madam
There
Chair.
we go, thank you. I told Charlie the last time I became chair, it was a very pandemic moment. I was sitting at my dining room table and I was wearing pajama pants. So
And some things haven't
it's
changed.
a far cry from that. I moved up to blue jeans. So would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
All right,
Mr. Clerk, do you want to just take us through the
Sure.
agenda?
we're going to get an update from our town administrator regarding the special home rule petition that we have for civil service. And we have appointment at 5 o'clock, but maybe early. Can we do it earlier?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not a hearing.
With our police chief. And we have a few items, maybe 11, 10, 11
Great,
action items. Yep.
thank you. Well, let's start with open forum. Is anybody here for open forum? Sure, come on up to the table.
Good afternoon.
You just tell us your name and address?
My name is Leon S. Litchfield Jr., 788 Bridge Street, East Bridgewater, Mass.
Great.
On 5/12 this year, I received a call from my family at 788 Bridge Street, where we had a 3-car accident. The car went through the living quarters of my grandson's bedroom upstairs and the garage and other things. We have a continued problem on this street. Mr. Spagone is familiar with it. I bought the house from your relatives, Tommy Williams.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
I've had the sheriff department's van flipped over on my property. The prisoners escaped. Prior to this accident happened on the 12th, I had another car go through the lawn and everything else. Your accident reports will show that there's been numerous accidents on this property. We've tried everything that was possible. I've redone the driveway there. You did the sidewalks there. This lady went up over the curb, took the trailer, garage, and everything else. Luckily, nobody was hurt damaged. When I arrived at home, a little after 4 o'clock, meeting with this building inspector and getting an electrician there to separate the property and bring the contractor back that night so we could live in the quarters. I have not heard from the insurance company, but I have also hired a public adjuster. I'm asking the town tonight, what can we do to correct this problem? I've met with Mary Wallen. I've met with former individual from Old Colony Planning Council, Peter. I grew up in this area in 1953, growing up on Roberts Road. I'm quite familiar with the accidents and everything else. It's a high-profile road. We're coming down from Bridgewater or coming in from the opposite way. There's no way to know that you're coming into a dangerous intersection. I don't know what we can do to correct it, but I'm asking, could you people install a guide rail on that property? You put a new sidewalk in. The lady went over the sidewalk, went over the stones. It almost hit the flagpole adjacent to it, diverted. When she got to the accident, she had took her foot off the brake and accelerated. She traveled some 200 feet from what we can gather. Do I have to lose a great-grandson there or a relative? I've done many things in this town for you people over the years. I've participated on your 9/11 ceremonies. I've never asked for nothing from the town of East Bridgewater or anything else in my life. I came back from Vietnam. I honored my country by serving. I'm asking the town now, what you're going to do to help protect my family and the property at 788 Bridge Street. I know it cannot be done overnight. You had an accident at Old Plymouth and Pond Street where 2 people died. With the cooperation of John Haynes from the Highway Department, you moved the stop sign that was taken down there and erected on Bridge Street. You've got to do something to warn the people approaching this area. You've come into a dangerous intersection. I've been told by the town at one time we had a street light on the corner of Bridge Street empty, broken, couldn't be fixed. I was told by the town, call the editor, you'll get it fixed faster than me. That is not acceptable, people. Why should I, as a taxpayer in the town, do that you people should be doing, maintaining the lights and the safety within this area for the general public and your taxpayers?
Right. Well,
I don't know what I can say to you to convert you. What can we do to immediately address that situation?
thank you so much for coming in, and I'm really sorry that this happened, and I can understand how frustrated you must be. I drive through that intersection every day on my way to work, so I know, exactly where you're talking about. And I've talked to Charlie, the board has talked to Charlie. There have been conversations with Old Colony and with our police chief and with John Haynes. So we will do something. I can't tell you right now what that will be. I know that.
I've also contacted Senator Brady and the Representative Mike Sullivan's daughter.
Okay, and we have the traffic studies.
Right.
Charlie, do you want to add anything?
I know that both John and Michael are here. I believe, Michael, you brought in the officer who did the sergeant who reviewed the, if you want, if there are ideas, suggestions that might, I'm not saying any of them are doable, obviously, immediately, but what are the options that we could do to either make his property safer or improve the state of the intersection, knowing that obviously the more extensive the work that's going to be done, the longer it's going to take, the more money we're going to spend.
And looking at it, and I did bring Sergeant Voisin with me as well, who happened to be the responding officer that evening. He's responding to that area. He's also, I had him do some follow-up research on that particular area in addition to speaking with John Haynes. I mean, the guardrail option right now seems like maybe our best option. We are looking at other options, but we did take a look at it. Unfortunately, this past weekend on May 12th, that accident was 100% operator error. But that doesn't alleviate the issues of that intersection. But that was operator error. We understand there is some issues up there, and we have been in conversations, and we do have some ideas that we're bouncing around and touching base with Old Colony Planning Council. Sergeant Voisin, he responded that night. I don't know if you want to.
I realized he was there.
Yep.
The only thing I would add, you added already, Chief, is that we all know the intersection is dangerous. That accident was fully on just an operator having an accident, right? There's many ways to approach that intersection, and we can tell that Bridge Street is the most dangerous way to get into that intersection. Plymouth Street 106 is running all the time. There needs to be a fix with Bridge Street. Some of the approaches are off, so looking at the roadways, I'm sure we can come up with something. I think we have two problems here. We have keeping Mr. Litchfield's house safe, and then we have fixing the dangerous intersection. I think fixing the safety of the home, putting up a guardrail or something like that would help ensure that, not 100%, but probably 99% chance that won't happen again. And then we can figure out the intersection after.
And I'd like to divert to John too. I mean, we had some conversations about the guardrail, so I mean, that might be our best option.
Yeah, I think at this point, obviously, the guardrail, as far as the viability of this protecting your property and the individuals that live on your property, because it does seem, for one reason or not, most of the accidents that occur tend to be vehicles veering, that are headed eastbound and veer into the westbound lane, and then end up on your property or whatnot. I think there's, you can certainly look at the viability of guardrailing behind that portion of sidewalk that was put in and extending that. And again, started to work with those. The other thing I've started to look at was perhaps we have installed the flashing stops at the intersection on either side of Bridge Street. One of my thoughts is, at least on it would be the westbound approach, where I think it's actually the line of sight visibility is most difficult. We could put up a similar flashing caution intersection ahead that would make people aware of that. Those are a few, I think, a couple of the steps we could take in a more immediate fashion. Obviously, any kind of long-term solutions such as realignment of the intersection and such, signalization. Those are significant undertakings that would require a lot of engineering as well as property, looking at, unfortunately, it would result in having to take properties and such to do realignment, so I think those are a much bigger conversation that needs to be had, and, perhaps working. Years ago, we looked to try to do this through the federal TIP program, a whole portion of Route 106, which is the Transportation Improvement Act. Unfortunately, we didn't qualify at that time. The Route 106 corridor didn't qualify in that.
Okay, thank you, John.
I would also, as he said, you're coming east to west, coming up from the old dumper on Bridge Street and coming up from Rolling Hills. What would stop the town from erecting either a sign or a flashing light on one of the telephone poles approaching dangerous intersection with a caution light, a yellow light? That could be done very easy, dropping off the pole, tying it in with the Edison.
I think that's definitely something John was just talking about.
I mean,
And our-
I've been there since 1998. I worked at the old gas station, Hoppy's. I remember old Horace Kingman, the registry inspector, on Sunday mornings. He could sit there and make his week's quota, issuing tickets. This is not new.
Right.
My sister's mother-in-law was Lydia Brown at the old Pub 106 at Joe's Pass. I'm quite familiar with this
ways.
area. My cousin was the chief of police in here, Walter Benoit. My cousin was chief of police in Bridgewater, James Elliott. My cousin was chief of police in Hanson, Mackenzie.
You don't need to be connected. We
We've got
hear
to
what you're
address
saying.
the
You don't have
situation.
to have a special relative to be, heard
Just
by
to-
us
just
to
to-
get this taken
Just to
care of.
tell you,
Sure.
I've taken on the United States Air Force with my shipment to Vietnam. I had a letter from Senator Ted Kennedy. They wouldn't even put it in my mailbox. Well, I'm here to see what we can get for results.
Yep.
We cannot keep pushing this under the table.
No, and I don't think anybody.
And the broom's got to start sweeping clean.
I think that this board, I can speak for the board and town administrator, our chief, our highway, we will have something done, and I think that guardrail discussions, they will be in touch with you to talk about that and move forward with that right away, and then talk about other things that can happen down the line.
Just to point back on the sidewalk, when you people erected the sidewalk, you took out the irrigation system to my property. I was told by the town, fix it yourself.
Okay,
This is not going to be no more answers for me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm done. I've done what I can for the town. I've asked in the town what you're going to do for me now.
Yep, and we have
The
heard
late
you.
John F. Kennedy said, ask not what your country could do for you, but what you can do for your country. I've served as a national rep for the Veterans Administration for 10 years. I had the Inspector General seize $265,000 for a new bus. I expect to see something done.
And I'm telling you, you have my word, you have the word of this board.
Thank you for your time and
Thank you
have a
for
good
your
evening.
service.
Yep.
Thank you for coming in.
Yep.
Is anybody else here for open forum? Seeing nobody else, and we'll close open forum, and we will go to our legislative update. Charlie?
So I did hear from the various members of the legislative delegation. The Senate is debating its budget this week. And I know that Jerry Cassidy had a ceremony at the State House this afternoon. He was going to be able to make it, so that we ended up, through talking with David, that we invited everybody back for, I think it's our meeting on June 12th. Having said that, we're talking about the baby steps. We do have the legislation on file again, obviously, for this session. It moved from the Rules Committee to the Committee on Public Service a few days ago. We now have a bill number. So we're getting there. I mean, the bill number we just got was just yesterday. And then we'll get a public hearing scheduled as soon as possible, according to Al in Senator Brady's office. I did, when I wrote to all three of them, and I reiterated with Al earlier today, our interest at this point, obviously, we want to see the bill passed, but we're trying to find out what's preventing it from occurring. We did file the report. Al said, in fact, it was one of the best reports they've seen in terms of withdrawal from civil service. they had the hearing last year. And that's why we want to talk to the three of them and say, is there something that we should be doing to remove these barriers that are preventing the legislation from being approved? Maybe we'll get a better answer from them on the 12th.
Okay, great.
I also talked to Al today, so a few other things also, so hopefully things will start to move along a little quicker.
We can't be the only
No,
community
there's at least a dozen, maybe
having
more,
these issues.
maybe 1 to 2 dozen. Yeah.
14 other cities doing the same thing. And they're all going in as one, that's the problem. If they were going in separately, we may have had a better chance. So now you've got representatives, senators from all over the state, different ones, but the bottom line of that is Senator Brady's the chair of that committee, so it's up to him to move it along.
Okay. We will go to our appointment with our acting police chief and the update on the police department.
Thank you.
Once again, nice outfits.
I'm gonna get you a nice tie.
Thanks for coming in.
I'm just gonna give a brief, quick update of some of the things that are going on.
Great.
And then in addition to, I do have some officers here I'd like to commend on something that took place in town. Just to give you an update, SRO, our school resource officer, Connor, and her K-9 Morgan, they recently completed their first phase of training, so they're out and about. If they haven't visited yet, they'll come see you soon. Officer DeJesus and K-9 Thor, they actually just completed 12 weeks of narcotics detection training as well. So now Thor and his handler, Officer DeJesus, they can do narcotic detection training for various illegal substances, meth, crack, cocaine, fentanyl, things that are out there on the streets in abundance right now. And he has the ability now to search buildings, et cetera, outside structures, et cetera. And so it's a great new addition to Thor, having that certification, to have a drug detection dog. Just to update on our traffic safety grant, we did attain a grant, as you know, seen some of the social media out there. And as a part of that, last month with the April Distracted Driving Campaign, my officers, just strictly on the grant, they stopped 417 vehicles, resulting in 181 hands-free violations. So, I mean,
Wow.
Majority of our accidents, a lot of it has to do with the distracted driving. So they're out there in the grant again for this month, and this month is click it or ticket or, for the seatbelt enforcement. Just some of the things on training right now, we have Detective Cacciatore. She's in a week-long conference for crimes against women, which was fully funded by a grant through the DA's office and some federal funds. So she's a part of the human trafficking task force. So the DA's office did send her down for some training. Sergeant Detective Kramer just recently completed an extensive 2-week training on motor vehicle crash investigations. So that's for more in-depth investigations. And Officer Lang, he's going to be going to our 2-week motorcycle school coming up for SEMLAC, so he'll be doing that. We'll have another officer that'll be certified in motorcycle training. And due to recent vacancies, we have 3 dispatchers currently right now in training, and hopefully they'll be trained and up and going within the next 4 to 5 weeks. Those are some recent vacancies we had. And just in regards to why I have some of my officers here, not all of them could
They
make
just
it, but.
left.
Sorry?
Just
Well, see, that's the nature of the
Oh,
beast,
he's
right?
back.
As most of you have heard, I mean, we did have a shooting in our town on Saturday, May 13th at 8:12 a.m. And, with police work, a lot of it has to do with dedication, professionalism, and a little bit of luck. So on that day, my officers, with the help of mutual aid from other towns, were able to, locate the parties involved, place them under arrest, and take another legal firearm off the street with no injuries. So I would like to commend those officers that were involved that morning. And I'll just read the letters of commendation, and then I'll read the officers' names that were involved. But I'll just read a little paragraph that I did just to give you a little snippet of that morning. On Saturday, May 13th, 2023, at approximately 8:12 a.m., East Bridgewater Public Safety Dispatchers Brian McSherry and Connor McDermott received calls about shots fired at a residential home located at 350 Cedar Street. Dispatcher Brian McSherry was able to quickly get a vehicle description, direction of travel, and a shooter description from the reporting parties. While East Bridgewater cruisers were responding to the area of Cedar Street, Officer Richard Eldridge observed a vehicle matching the description provided around the area of Central Street and Stevens Court. Officer Eldridge activated his cruiser blue lights and siren and proceeded to stop the vehicle in the area of Central Street and Morris Ave. Upon exiting the cruiser to effect a felony stop, the vehicle took off from the area. Officer Eldridge advised the other cruisers, which included Sergeant Grillo, Officer Robert Lang, Officer Corey McLaughlin, along with Whitman police officers who responded, and they were able to assist. They kept the vehicle in sight, and they followed the vehicle or pursued the vehicle into Brockton, where the vehicle struck another vehicle and then came to a stop. 2 occupants exited the vehicle, and after a brief foot pursuit, 2 occupants were placed under arrest. At that point, I called in my 2 detectives to assist with the investigation, Sergeant Detective Ryan Kramer and Detective Cacciatore. They called in to assist. Shortly thereafter, based on some investigation and some intel we received, we recovered a loaded 9mm handgun that was used in the shooting and thrown out the window, which was located by Whitman Police Sergeant Patrick Bird Henderson, East Bridgewater Canine Officer Josh DeJesus, and Bridgewater Police Sergeant Stephen Kingsley. This firearm was located in the area of Central Street near Morse Ave, where the vehicle had stopped briefly for Officer Eldridge before taking off. Hanson Police also assisted by sending cruisers and officers to secure the crime location at 350 Cedar Street. So Hanson Police also sent a sergeant, a detective, and 2 officers along to assist. So in addition to Whitman, Bridgewater, Brockton, and Hanson officers, I'd like to commend these officers. It's important to recognize these officers for the dedication, professionalism in locating and arresting the 2 involved parties, taking another legal firearm off the street, all with no reported injuries. As the acting chief of police and on behalf of the command staff, the town administration, their peers, the grateful public and community, I'm proud to say thank you for your continued dedication and service. So I'd like to present these to the officers, if you don't mind. I'll do them, just call them up one by one. And Sergeant John Grillo. Thank you. Officer Richard Eldridge.
Thank you.
Detective Sergeant Ryan Kramer.
Thank you, sir.
I saw you outside my window that morning.
Detective Cacciatore. Officer Robert Lang.
You did. Thank you.
So we're watching cartoons.
Canine Officer DeJesus couldn't be here.
Thank you.
Officer Corey McLaughlin could not be here as well. Public Safety Dispatcher Brian Sherry. And Public Safety Dispatcher Conor McDermott.
Good afternoon. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good job, Con.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to commend these officers. I mean, this was a great job. It's not often that we have a shooting in East Bridgewater, but, you know, based on their professionalism, dedication, and tenacity, and their little bit of luck, we were able to, it was a good day. So,
Thank
thank you for having us.
Thank you. Before you go, any comments or
Oh,
questions?
sorry.
When I respond to the emails coming through, one of my statements was, we now expect this. We hear about the work that's being done down there all the time, from the prior chiefs, you know, and seeing what we have together as a force. It's absolutely incredible, because we keep on hearing how many people have pulled over, how much, you know, weapons we've got out of there, how much drugs we get off the people, you know, now being incarcerated. Again, it's just an incredible job. We're
Thank
so
you.
proud.
We had a great team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, what I'm taken back by, and I stopped the other day and had a conversation with, you know, not only with Club, but with a couple of the other officers. And, you know, it's the ability they have to also be humanized, right? And talk to us as residents, so we understand what's going on as well, not just, you know, I don't want to call it police talk, but, you know, there's ways to talk to the community and make them understand what you do every day, and there's ways that, you know, they don't understand, and your officers do that on a daily basis, and every time I have a conversation with them, it's down to earth, and it's, you know, it's for the town of East Bridgewater, and I appreciate that the most.
Yeah,
Sure.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, what they said, we appreciate you, we appreciate the work that you all did. Like I said, I saw Officer Eldridge outside my kitchen window that morning. I thought, oh, something's up.
He was just looking for breakfast.
And the cruisers went flying by, and
He's there when he doesn't belong there, just let me know.
I will let you know. I'll let Kim know. But thank you for everything you did, and thanks for letting us know and coming in so that everybody understands exactly what happened and the great response that you guys had to it. So,
Appreciate it.
all right.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's
The
it
benefits
for
of this job.
appointments. Yeah, the text saying what's going on. We'll move to action items. Mr. Clerk?
All righty. Fun times. We'll let the officers leave. I know they got more important things to do.
Oh,
than
you don't
listen
want to
my
stay and
Action
watch?
items. Thank you all.
Dickie, wake up.
There goes the audience.
If I got that list for you too, I'll drop it by. I got the list for the event too.
Okay.
I'll drop it by the station.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. Approve but not release the minutes of the April 24th, 2023 Board of Selectmen's Executive Session Meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Approve the minutes of the April 24th, 2023 Board of Selectmen Meeting.
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none, all say aye.
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 Approve the Class 2 license name change, Joseph Savino, DBA West Street Auto Sales, 558 West Street, to Joe Savino, DBA Route 106 Auto Sales.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Approve the request from Jennifer Horton of the Community Coalition for Change for the use of DPW electronic signs from June 15th, 2023 through June 25th, 2023, contingent upon the sign being available, of course, and to put the signs on municipal property from May 23rd, 2023 through June 25th, 2023, to advertise third annual celebration of multiculturalism. Event will be on Sunday, June 25th, from 12 to 3 on the town common.
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Approve the request by Kerry Haynes, yes, to use the town common on Wednesday, May 24th, 2023 through, you told me, but I probably forgot.
I would just say something like, contingent on checking the last day of what the last day of the event will be.
Okay, so,
She hasn't-
this is
just
the,
hasn't gotten back to
oh yeah,
me.
okay, this is
Yeah.
the fitness class, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a fitness class from 5:15 PM to 7:15 PM, fitness class contingent on the dates being available. Let's
Available,
just
yeah.
go with that.
Second.
Any discussion?
So she's hopefully she'll get back to you, right? And
Yeah, I'll email her again tomorrow.
We do have the June 14th, that's a Wednesday, so.
Is it a
that-
Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be,
So
one night
not
that
June 14th?
would be precluded.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, unless, it could
meant
add
how
to the,
people
it
there are,
could add
right?
to the event for the bicentennial,
Correct.
a fitness class.
All right. I don't know how it's gonna go over, but sure.
Why don't you mention that to the co-chair?
I'll let the co-chair know.
Thank you.
Any further discussion on that?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Approve the request for Bill Dawson, Kiwanis, to place signs on town property for a scholarship fundraiser. Meat raffle for the Field of Flags, May 22nd, 2023 through 12/6/2023.
So this is, it's
Let me get a
actually
second first.
Second.
Okay,
several different events.
okay.
They're going to have the scholarship meat raffle number 1, and they want signs up from May 24th to June 4th. Then from Labor Day to September 30th for scholarship meat raffle number 2. The Field of Flags from October 1st to November 11th.
Okay.
Why don't you just say that? Been easier.
Yeah,
'Cause it
'cause we
wasn't on
can't
the
have
form.
those signs out.
Yeah, I said,
That'd be a
I
lot.
said, I talked with them, I said, no, you don't get them for 6 months.
So it's 3 separate
Yes,
time periods.
yes.
Gotcha. All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
What he said.
Aye.
Appoint a representative and alternate to the Plymouth County
You skipped
Advisory.
number
You
7.
you skipped
Did-
7.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And Nancy will come get us.
Oh, boy. Appoint Nancy Hill to the Old Colony Elder Services Board of Directors effective July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024.
Second.
Any discussion?
David?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Nancy.
Yes. Appoint a representative and alternate to the Plymouth County Advisory Board for fiscal year July 1st, 2023 through June 30th of 2024.
Second. Thank you, Peter, for volunteering.
Yeah, is it you?
Apparently.
It is
Okay.
now.
I second that.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Peter was last year. I mean, you could do it again, but.
Yeah,
he's the
I look forward to it.
representative, And David, you were the alternate, I believe, yeah.
Absolutely.
So if you wanna keep
Thank
it
you,
the same,
guys.
you can keep it the same.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm very in favor of that.
Absolutely.
You want Peter, David?
Pardon?
Peter,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
David.
he's gonna be
Okay.
the alternate. Okay, moving on. Anything else I have to, no. Let's
Not
see.
yet.
Careful.
You got the next one? Right. Approve a schedule of wages and salaries for non-union employees for fiscal year 2024.
And much of this work was based on the,
Second.
was based on the Collins Center
Yep.
study that we had done last year. What I'm recommending is first that we add an education incentive for the non-union employees. This would be for the administrative and clerical staff, not for the department heads. Because I think many of the department heads may have degrees already, and when their salaries are commensurate with our expectations that they have those degrees. But these would be for associates and bachelors in fields related to the work, and would be based on the major, not simply taking a few courses while having a major in an unrelated field. And the Board of Selectmen would approve all the education incentives, so we would go back to employees who might qualify. If they have degrees, we'll work it through the Board of Selectmen's office, and this would be effective on July 1st. Approve the wage tables for fiscal '24. The assistant treasurer, assistant collector, assistant treasurer collector, if there is any, assistant town accountant will be placed in a statutory assistant table. The principal clerk in the selectman's office would remain in the principal clerk wage grid. The other administrative positions who are, we have the fire department's admin, the police department's admin, would remain in their appropriate grids. The salaries for the department heads, unless they're listed below in the notes I presented to the board, under C or D, everyone will receive a 2% increase for fiscal '24. Most of the department heads are under some type of contract already with the board, so I'm not asking for changes in those contracts at this point. They will go on as presented in the contracts. The DPW director and the division heads, I'll be working with John this week to discuss salaries for those positions, because he's also, I think, you've been notified about his interest in doing a little bit of a reorganization in the department, so I'll talk with him and come back to the board in the next few days about that. The Conservation Commission agent is currently earning $69,350. The Collins Center had recommended that a number of the department heads be placed in what the wage and salary study called grade F, and we would move that to $74,158. Similarly, for the veterans agent, he would move into this grade F and be at $74,158. The EBCAM employees would receive a 2% increase. They weren't involved in the Collins Center study, and we don't have a wage grid or anything like that. But at the minimum, at this point, they should be receiving a 2% increase. The town clerk is not in the personnel bylaw. And therefore, I'm not asking for the board to make they're not to vote on this today, but to present it at town meeting on June 5th. But it's an elected position, and the salary is dealt with separately therefore, but I'm recommending a 2% increase for fiscal '24. I understand that, there might be some expectation, not by the board, but whether it's residents, well, if someone's been working in the office for so long or not so long, or has a degree or a certification or not, the thing is, it's whoever gets the position. The position does not come with qualifications, requirements, so whatever the salary, whoever gets elected or is serving as a town clerk, that's their salary. And then for the library, be going back to Jessica to talk with her and pass along some recommendations to the trustees who set the wage grid for their positions. The Collins Center did make some recommendations for some material changes in the grid for them. And so I'm going to go back to Jessica, and then they can relay that information to the Finance Committee later on.
Okay. Questions?
No?
No.
Jessica, you're just here to make sure he did it right?
I'm here because I have a line item transfer.
Okay.
You probably don't need me
No,
here,
we don't, but that's
but
nice.
they're interested in
That's-
me. I usually watch them on EBCAM.
Nice.
Okay.
The other one.
She's, well, her and Dale,
Okay,
and my father-in-law.
okay.
And what they do is they they all agree on a time and they text each other.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, I just wanted to make sure you were good with that, so. All right, if there's nothing else with that, then I'll take them. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye. Great.
All right, we're moving on to approve our line item transfer requests.
We gotta go
The
number 10.
APRA,
No,
Oh, I'm sorry. So, oh
Number
man,
10.
he's sitting right
you're
there
just
too.
rusty,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
all.
moving
You're
too
used to
fast.
sitting there and having
Right.
David doing all the work for you.
Right.
God, I'm-
Guess I got things to do. I don't know.
And I thought the rest of town government worked slow.
I'm really cutting through this thing. All right, approve appropriation request from the IT director for permitting software.
Second,
Discussion?
Ryan.
Would like me to speak on it as well?
Sure,
the 30 seconds deal.
yeah.
Absolutely, I can make this fast. Briefly, the reason why we have this in front of you tonight, as opposed to with the other articles that are going to move forward, is we currently have a $60,000 article on the town warrant. By approving this, we're looking to remove that article from the town warrant for town meeting. So that's kind of, there was a time reason on this article. The town is looking to change our permitting and licensing software. We're not happy with our current provider. This article would allow us basically our implementation costs for the project, as well as contracting with a couple other companies to basically make everything talk to each other cleanly. We're looking at a savings by changing companies of about $15,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
So
Great.
that's the real.
We like
Yeah,
savings.
that's the driving force behind this. So basically, we should get the $60,000 back at the 4-year mark.
Great, okay.
And I know Ryan's been working with the other departments probably like a good year at this point, because I know there've been complaints about the current package right now.
Yeah, most departments aren't happy with it. It's also, DPW is also doing our work order system. The assessors use it for our current one for mapping. Everyone's looking to move away from our current company. So, and we've all worked together, and we think we found a new company that will fit our needs much better.
Save money, that's what we heard,
Save
save
money.
money.
Figured you'd like that.
Right. Great.
All right, any
Fantastic.
questions?
No,
No.
good job.
Hearing
Appreciate
none, all
it.
in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. Now you can,
Now I can move on.
Do number
All right.
11.
Approve line item transfer requests as printed.
yeah.
See you, shortcuts.
Shortcuts, man.
Town meeting wardens,
Right, so, it's actually not from me, it's from Sue, I believe, if I'm correct, that the town meeting warden changed, yeah. So there is a line item in case she needs wardens, and obviously she didn't spend the money to do that, and needed to move it into these other line items in the town clerk's budget.
What is it?
Like the
Wardens?
people, they're the ones who get
Guys
up
that
and
count?
count when we have to
Oh,
do a
really?
count.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't know they got paid, I thought that was strictly
Yeah,
volunteer.
we
I
might
didn't
keep
think
this
we ever paid
Move
one.
this
Well,
along.
that's why she may have the money. She didn't pay him.
Just get one guy. He'll do it, one woman, $3,000. Perfect.
Okay,
Can I come off the stage and
Yeah,
count
right.
myself?
I'll count,
Yeah,
yeah.
Like, why don't we do it?
If
Don't
the
we
three of us, it's
counterbalance it?
1,000 each.
I-
Almost what we make now.
Yeah, but we'd get it in one night.
Yeah, that's true too.
I'm not understanding for the 5 minutes it takes.
I can talk to Sue and find out why it's even in the budget
Right.
anymore.
It's
Yeah,
gotta been there
sounds-
for like years or
Right,
something. It's just
right.
one of those.
I don't ever remember seeing it
yeah,
before.
it
Right.
hasn't been addressed.
Yeah, okay.
We can pass this over till next time.
You want to withdraw that?
I'd like to pass it over until next meeting.
Well, Sue,
Oh, wait a minute, we can't because we got.
No, like,
Yeah.
you're thinking like next fiscal year, like maybe take it out of the budget, but the money's there now. And she needs it for something else.
So we're gonna pay $3,000 for June 5th?
No, she's
she's moving that money.
not
no, no,
spending
no.
it.
She's moving the money. This
Oh,
is-
okay.
She's
This is
moving
to
it,
move.
she's not asking for.
It's
That's the word
transferring
transfer.
to,
That's
it's
fine.
transferring, yes.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, good, all right.
Similarly, you'll see that, you'll see the request from the DPW. I mean, I know you voted the whole thing, but you'll see that long list of places where John is proposing taking money from
Right.
Yep.
and putting money into.
Yeah, we get it.
All right,
That's funny.
it passed. It's a good thing I'm in the middle. Don't forget, I got that gavel.
Right.
Yeah, good, you're gonna use it.
That's
Okay.
it.
All right, thank
All right,
you.
Good, thank you.
Announcements, Rebecca?
No, I don't have
Did we
anything.
vote on that? Did we vote on that?
Yeah, you missed that.
We did.
Oh, gee, I didn't say
Uh,
it.
Town administrator report. Charlie?
No, I don't have anything else to talk about. If the board would be willing to talk a couple of minutes during executive session, I can give you what would be a very brief update.
That was my next question was, are we going into executive
It
session?
should be briefly, 5 to 10
Okay.
minutes, yeah.
All right.
Good.
Board discussions. Mr. Vice
I would
Chair.
like, first of all, to thank, we had a great weekend here, a great Saturday. A lot of work was put into the celebration for the veterans. Unfortunately, the weather didn't help us a lot, but there were quite a few people that did come by, and thank Chris Buckley and, you know, the people that came in from the other towns to represent the veterans. They did a terrific job. The trolley tours were absolutely fantastic. Norma, Tom, Jen, and Katie spent hours upon hours getting this tour working the way it should. They did half of the town. There was, again, thanks to the police for, you know, detail escorts. We had Josh and Thor, you know, following behind to make sure that there was no problems with it. And everyone I've talked to, they said what they learned in that hour is more that they've learned since they've been in town. It was just incredible, the work they did behind it. And we look forward to the next trip,
It's
which
going
will
to be
be
a
in
fall
October.
one, right? Great.
Now we'll cover the other half of the town. The other thing right now is we have tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, junior, senior high school, we have the bicentennial alumni concert going on, which I'm sure is going to be a fantastic crowd there. So if you want to go and see, you better get there early. And we will have all the stuff that
Swags
the
and merch.
bicentennial merchandise will be there, I think, around 5:30 for sale. And we have, everything has been put together, so we should, anything you're looking for, we should have there.
Great.
Peter, you want to talk about
Thank
June
you.
10th?
Yeah, June 10th. So Commercial Club, Bicentennial Day, it's pretty much in order. We've got, you know, a array of different events going on today. We got road race, Nancy Hill is starting us off with, and then we run into a children's events, seniors, and then a couple of concerts, as well as the big bonfire at the end. We've met with both chiefs to this point. Everything looks real good, and it's almost nerve-wracking how good it seems to be coming together. But I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of help from the commercial club and the people that we're working with over there. So I'm excited to see what's going on. We're gonna meet one more time, I think next Wednesday, to get the volunteer list put together, or finalized, I should say. And then, you know, we've got the schools put it out. I want to thank my sister Gina for helping me with that. They did the, you know, texting thing to all the parents through, I'm assuming it goes to everyone that's got a student in the school system. So that went out. They got a really good response from that. So again, I think it's going to be a really good event.
Great.
With a really good attendance.
Again, the hours upon hours that, you know, the commercial club staff has put together, it's just incredible to come up with everything. I think we have everything down to a science.
Yeah, let's
And following that, on June 14th, which is the actual 200th day, to the day that we signed our incorporation papers, and we're gonna have an open house in here for late in the afternoon. We'll be opening a time capsule there. We're gonna be having in here and possibly outside. They'll be displaying everything that the Bicentennial Committee has done since we had our kickoff back in January. It will be repeated all day. We will have food trucks out here, ice cream trucks out here, followed by a concert on the Common with, what's the name of that?
I think it's Dale and the Duds.
Good,
Yeah,
them.
I think so.
I think some people know about them.
I know him.
And then followed by, the best I can understand, the first time in forever, we will have fireworks beginning around 9:30 when it gets dark.
Excellent.
No permits have been finalized on that, so we are all set.
Oh, good. Good.
And that following Saturday, we are working on a softball tournament with a bunch of town employees and ringers coming in.
Do you have guns and hoses involved? Because
Yeah,
I think
that's
if you
what
have
I'm
guns
saying.
and hoses.
Police are the ringers, right? That's what I've been told. Yeah.
They are,
Stacked.
they are.
Right.
But we'll have special rules for those people.
Right. Play with one arm. or
Handicap.
something.
Yeah.
Bat lefty.
So, Peter, you're gonna umpire with me, right?
I will,
Oh, boy.
absolutely, yes.
You know those people that we've aggravated over the years and aggravated back, we can get
Right.
even with them.
Yeah, we'll know who we
So,
like and who
again,
we
we're
don't
looking
like.
for that, and that will start at 9 o'clock in the morning. Depending on how many teams we have, we'll be playing 3 or 4 innings until we get a championship announced.
Was that on the 17th?
That's on the 17th, the day before Father's Day.
Great.
And registration for that is closing in 2 days.
Well, we may keep that open for a few days next week if we don't get everything. I know we have 3 teams, I think, already.
Wow.
And one should definitely be coming, I think, Bluestone Bank, who is sponsoring this. Softball, I think they're gonna put a team in also,
Great.
which will be full of ringers, I'm guaranteed that already.
That's great. Well, thank you to you and the Bicentennial Committee and
It's an
the
amazing.
Commercial Club. It's hard to believe that we're already almost at the
It is.
6-month point of all of this.
It's
You know,
just-
we've been talking about it, it seems like forever, and here, you
Yeah,
know,
and I have been talking about it forever.
2 biggest events are, you know, looming right in front of us. It's
Yeah.
very exciting. And
It's fun.
let's hope that the weather for the trolley tour is the only bad weather we get
Yep.
for
That's
the
it.
rest of our events.
Yeah, Charlie, that's on you.
So you want Camelot?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Yes,
we'll
please.
take anything,
Exactly.
anything that doesn't make you dance.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
I got 2
Go- oh.
brief things. So I want to first thank John Haynes and DPW. Our project down at Church Street is coming along. They paved the roads. I want to let John speak a little bit. This is the basketball courts that we got the grant from the state, the help of Allison Sullivan, to secure some, I think around 50,000 or 60,000 from them. 50, the town, went to vote, the town kicked in another, I believe, 40, and we've got some opera money there, but I'll let kind of John talk a little bit where we're at. And
So obviously, several years ago, we identified that the existing basketball courts at the Silver Sports Complex were in a state of disrepair. They'd actually fallen into a condition that, when we had them evaluated by our town insurance provider, they were in an unsafe condition. So the Yankee in me hates to see us lose anything that we have. So with the assistance of Peter Spagone and the Recreation Commission and some others, we were able to secure funding for the project to actually restore those basketball courts. And we're gonna be, essentially, we'll be replacing the entire surface. And with that, we also are moving forward to, I guess the best term is to repurpose what was known as the street hockey rink. And at this point, the Recreation Commission, after a lot of discussion and back and forth, feel that it would really serve the town at this point to create what will be a multi-surface court space back there. But as part of that, it'll have 4 pickleball courts built into it, which I know
There you go.
there's a lot of interest in.
I wanna break
But my personal goal in working with the Recreation Commission was we would love to see those basketball courts be back up and in a playable, way by the 4th of July. And as of, so we actually, our DPW staff over the winter removed all the existing asphalt and such that was in place, graded the base out, and working with our contractors here, TL Edwards, we've repaved the surface. Next week, we'll be installing the posts, and after that, there's a period of time of a few weeks that you actually have to wait to let the emulsions and materials settle out of the asphalt before we can put the epoxy surface down for the actual court surface. But as of right now, weather pending, and then if all things hold, we'll have those courts ready for, play as of the 4th of July. That's kind of, so we're actually already working with some of the youth groups with the idea of trying to revitalize what used to be a very active summer league for a basketball team. But the other thing I would just really like to see is I'd love to see those open spaces that are truly recreational. that allow for the pickup games, the things like that. And I think one of the other benefits that we'll see is as one of the things that happened, I think, with the street hockey rink, and I've always said this, is there was no ownership of it. The leagues sort of weren't able to stay active and viable over the years. So that area became sort of a ghost town and a no man's land. And what I really hope to see is that the combination of all the different uses that'll be down there will make the facility and the entire complex even more active and viable than it already is. So we're pretty excited about the ability to move this project forward, and want to thank all the people that have been involved in supporting it. And when the time comes, I think we'll invite Allison to shoot the first hoop.
Well, you better get going then.
August 5th would be a good day.
Her center of gravity might
That's
be a
why I
little
wanted
bit
to
off right now.
I figure we'll try to keep it in that, before that last trimester. I'm sure she's still at the gym if she's anything like I know her, so.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, that's great. So
What else you got?
right. Last thing is, so I had a conversation with Patrick Finney. A couple years ago, John and I were approached by a resident down on Pond Street about an abandoned house. Like, it was just kind of been there for years. Property was, she was nervous about the fact that, kids could run on there and what could happen. So we did some things. When talking to Patrick, that his hands were tied a little bit to what could be done, what couldn't be done. They put some fencing around it and then, kind of walked away from it. Well, I've got another call about a week ago from Nikki Brown. Same similar situation on Washington Street. There's, another house that's been sitting there. The owner lives up in Maine, kind of just abandoned it. They looked at it a couple of years ago, and I think it's similar to what Patrick had told me. Put some fencing around it and just kind of, that's where it stands. So he emailed me, and I told him I'd bring it up to the board tonight. He emailed me on Friday last week with a Chapter 139, blah, blah, blah rule, whatever. I haven't gone through the whole thing. But what's promising about it is the removing of a nuisance building. It gives us the ability to kind of look into what the process is that we can do so that we can clean some of these things up. I don't know if it's actually, taking the land from
You have to
any owner.
take it by tax title?
Yeah, I don't know if it's, and I'll have to go a little bit. I just got on Friday. I don't know how far it goes, but from his short email here that he sent to me, it looks like it's just the ability to, again, just remove the house as a town, not taking property or anything, and then, obviously putting a lien against the property if and when it's sold or whatever the case may be, because these people may still be paying the taxes on it, and they just kind of walked away from it. But it seems to me, and John could probably, back me up on this, that we have, what I thought was maybe one or two, we've had more than that. We have maybe 4 or 5 of these in there, and our concern, Patrick's concern, is really about the liability of, what happens to somebody, because, of course, knowing about it is just as bad as owning the place and whatnot. So what I wanted to do, with the board's blessing, is work with Charlie here to see what, and of course Patrick, to find out what really what this entitles and what we have to do in order to maybe move this forward. The first one's always the hardest, right? And then we figure from there.
Do we have any indication based on the size of what we're talking about, what it would cost to remove the property?
I have no idea, yeah. So, I don't know if the process, John would probably know better than I would. Have we ever run through a process where we removed a structure off of a private property to your, Patrick said not since he's been here, but.
The one I'm actually most familiar with was when the town ordered the owners of Eastern State Steel
Okay.
to essentially make safe
Yeah, right.
that property, and in order to make that property safe, it had to be leveled and raised. And it was a pretty significant undertaking, but I think another party would probably want to get involved with this, fire chief, because what happens is these become very attractive nuisances.
Right.
Yep.
And then, Lord forbid that, something happens in those structures, and then we have to have the town has to send in its
Well, that was the problem. I don't know if Washington
safety
Street-
officers to address it, and,
Right.
you already know it's an imminent hazard.
Right.
They
That's
do
right.
become attractive nuisances, so I think beyond the fact that, they kind of represent some blight, they're not attractive, from where they actually do present a
Right.
potential safety hazard to the.
I think that's what we were, and I can't remember the woman's name that came and met with us, but I think that was, the problem down by the pond was that it was pushed back to the fact that, you know, the kids could go in there, you know, just hop the fence, get in there and do whatever they're doing in here. You know, similar to this is, and speaking to Nikki, is like, you know, they've seen people go in, but there's neighbors around there closer than this one, so, you know, they obviously go in and say, scat, get out of here, whatever the case may be. But I think it's worth at least, we're now hearing from a couple of residents, at least the ability for, you know, allow the board, allow me and Charlie to kind of just take a look. I mean, obviously Chris would, you know, we'd have to probably talk to him, Chris Kenny. Or
That's what I was gonna say,
yeah.
just
You know, see what
loop in
is
town
based
council
on
and-
this. But, you know, I want to thank Patrick because he actually, you know, reached out, found the chapter and the sections in the chapter that, you know, are right towards this. So we'll look a little bit more into it and then, you know, I'll update you.
It's a great idea. I think what we'll find out once we figure out how to do it, I think we're gonna find a lot more properties around town.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I do too.
no doubt.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
anything else?
Thank you.
That's it.
No? Okay. Memorial Day exercises are Monday at,
29,
I know, what time, 10 o'clock?
10.
Okay, so,
Are you speaking?
I am not. You are.
Oh,
I talked to Chris Buckley today.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank
Although he did point out that you owe me from Veterans
I
Day,
do,
so.
yeah, so when you need a fill-in, I'm there for you, not you.
Anyway, Memorial Day exercises will be held on the Common if you are
Yeah, be down
so
there.
inclined to attend. And with that, I will take a motion to go into executive session.
For the purposes,
Yep.
What's here, right?
you have to
Yeah.
read it.
I know, no, I'm,
Yeah,
Peter can
she's
read it.
pointing at me, I just lost my page. All right. Pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations and conducting collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with firefighters, superior officers, clerical, DPW, dispatchers, patrol officers, police chief, deputy police chief. I,
Roll
Peter
call.
Spadone,
Not to return, second.
not to return, right?
Dave Sheedy.
I, Carol Julius, and we will not return to open session. So, thank you, everybody, and we will see you soon.
Very brief.